Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, Season 2, Episode 1, A Tiebreaker and a Huge Mistake, slyly reveals why Georgie becomes the most successful Cooper sibling. CBS's premiere comedy from Chuck Lorre, Molaro, and Steve Holland returns for its sophomore year with an increased focus on the titular characters. While Season 1 felt more like a follow-up story after Young Sheldon ended, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2 inches it closer to establishing its own identity. Picking up not long after Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 1 finale, A Tiebreaker and a Huge Mistake primarily revolves around the aftermath of Georgie and Ruben buying Jim's auto shop. Having never really gotten along, the pair butt heads constantly.
Debt is wealth.
Huh. Okay, I get it now. I'm in business with a lunatic.
Especially in terms of business acumen. The rest of the episode has them trying to figure out a way to make decisions, resulting in them resorting to a foot race. First Marriage Season 2 premiere establishes that Georgie isn't afraid to take risks. While it isn't surprising that Georgie and Ruben would have many conflicts in running the tire shop, it's interesting that Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2 opens with their relationship at the center of the storytelling. Jim, who's already bored with being retired, inserts himself into one of his mentees' discussions, but he doesn't really help much. Throughout their bickering, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2 subtly explains why Georgie becomes the most successful Cooper family sibling. While Ruben is more conservative with his moves after acquiring his former place of employment, afraid that they will lose the money that they invested in it, Georgie is more aggressive. He's already thinking about scaling up and opening other branches. He reasons out that he trusts his instincts. Ultimately, Georgie's gamble on his vision pays off. It was previously revealed in The Big Bang Theory that in a couple of decades, George and Mary's firstborn would become the owner of Texas's biggest tire and auto chain, Dr. Tire. Because The Big Bang Theory wasn't about him, not much else was revealed about how he built it, giving Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage a narrative opening. Are Georgie's achievements more impressive than Sheldon's? This belief in himself isn't unique to Georgie within the Cooper family. Sheldon knows very well that he's smart. However, he's academically smart. His older brother, on the other hand, is not only gifted with the knack for entrepreneurship, but he is also socially aware and charming, which makes for an excellent salesman. Meanwhile, Sheldon is mostly tolerated by people, even those who are in his inner circle. Unfortunately, while Missy is witty, charming, and wise, she struggles emotionally. Hampered by her grudges against her parents for always being left out and exacerbated by the death of George and young Sheldon, she goes down a more difficult path in life. Ultimately, the fact that Georgie was able to build his tire empire while taking care of Mary and Missy and navigating life with his own family is very impressive. Arguably, Georgie's success is more impressive than Sheldon's Nobel Prize in Physics. This isn't to put down the socially inept genius achievement. However, he was always bound to make waves in his field, thanks to his innate intellect. Meanwhile, his brother was usually underestimated. As Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage continues, expect that Georgie's road to being a successful businessman will be at the center of its long-term, socially inept storytelling. Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage returns for its much-awaited Season 2, with an episode that mainly deals with the aftermath of the big decisions from the Season 1 finale. Just a couple of years after the announcement, it remains that the cancellation of Young Sheldon is divisive. Luckily, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage is able to continue the narrative, albeit only partly. In Screen Rant's original review of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, I specifically noted how impressed I was with the way it was able to balance drama and comedy. This was specifically important, considering that it hadn't been long since George's death in Young Sheldon. The idea in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2, on the other hand, is to build upon what it has done in its debut year. For context, the Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 1 finale featured a lot of bombshells that will inform what's to come for the rest of the clan. Mandy nabbed a permanent job at the station as a weather girl, but it involves her working with her ex. Elsewhere, as Jim retired, Georgie and Ruben made an unexpected partnership by buying his auto shop. Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage moves away from young Sheldon's shadow. When Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage debuted, its premiere featured the return of Mary and Meemaw. The first few episodes even directly tackled George's death, and while he has never appeared in the sequel spin-off, there were references to Sheldon. Now, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2 opens with a narrative that barely has anything to do with the original Cooper family. Instead, the focus is now on what's happening on the other side of Medford with the McAllisters. In A Tirebreaker and a Huge Mistake, The Offering mainly follows Georgie and Ruben trying to work together in their joint venture. At home, Jim feels lost after the novelty of being retired wears off. Meanwhile, Mandy and Audrey try to be there for their respective husbands. Watching Georgie build his tire empire feels more like a setup for the Big Bang Theory than tying connections to Young Sheldon. Granted that his special skills for treating tire holes were first established in the prequel, all the payoff to this storyline, as far as that may still be, can be found in Jerry O'Connell's debut as Sheldon's big brother in The Big Bang Theory Season 11. Gradually moving away from young Sheldon's shadow is the smart thing to do. While Georgie and Mandy's first marriage will never really be able to sever ties with its predecessor, the truth of the matter is its focus should be on Georgie and Mandy's current life. Familiar characters such as Mary, Missy, and even Pastor Jeff are bound to make an appearance in Season 2, but their stories will have to be about the present and future, not in the past. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage developing its own identity is good for its future. It's no secret that the end of Young Sheldon was mandated by the established The Big Bang Theory canon. If it wasn't for the known timeline, the family comedy drama could have continued for more years, especially since it was a massive viewership winner for CBS. That said, Chuck Lorre and his team didn't want to further break continuity by stretching out its storytelling. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, on the other hand, is not limited by rigid timelines. It can continue running for years to come, simply because it still is about 2 decades away from Georgie's appearance in The Big Bang Theory, wherein he and Mandy are no longer together. The challenge for the show now is to continue building its audience to the point that CBS will keep renewing the series. For now, at least, it seems to have a bright future on broadcast TV.
Well, I'm the doctor. You're more like a head nurse.